This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado. I'm here with the Bold Moves team. Since 2015, this realtor has a passion to serve others and her community with a strong work ethic and first-hand transaction experience. She enjoys welcoming people home. Thanks so much for joining us here today, Jolyn.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. You were formally educated with a bachelor's degree from Colorado State University of Pueblo. You went on to receive your master's from Regis University. You have past experience in marketing and as a development director for the Colorado Division of Wildlife. Over 7 years ago, you felt that it was a pretty natural fit for you to go into real estate. Share with me a little bit how this journey got started for you.
Sure. So I started off my professional career doing development and marketing for youth-based nonprofit organizations. I moved up to Denver to be with Environmental Learning for Kids as their development director. And I got my master's as well and really wanted to stay in the nonprofit sector. But at some point, just real estate really appealed to me after I bought my first home. That equity allowed me to change my life. So my wife and I were able to build a family. I was able to leave my job and start my own career in business. So I just saw how it could change somebody's life, and I love doing that for other people.
That is great. I mean, our home is our sanctuary and our safe space, but it's also our most valuable asset. Why is it maybe more important than ever that we have a professional agent represent us when we're buying or selling that asset?
Yeah, I think it's most important. When I bought my first home, I really wished that somebody had dug a little deeper and asked me questions like, how long do I intend to live there? Would I want to rent that property, after I moved on to a bigger home? And really, those are the questions I like to get into with my clients so that they think about real estate not just as home now, but what it can do for you in the future.
Really, you're almost a Colorado native. You've been here many, many years.
Yeah.
As you basically look around Denver and it's growing, what do you think attracts people here to Colorado and maybe Denver specifically?
I think so many things. I grew up in a small town in Colorado, so Denver to me is a big city, and it's where I always wanted to be when I was a kid. So it's kind of funny because it's not that big compared to other cities in the United States. But I think the mountains, skiing, I think our lifestyle in general, and then I think the people. I think Colorado and Denver is a very welcoming place. We're a state full of transplants, and I think it's just I think it's a place where people say hi to each other when they pass on the street, and I think a lot of people like that.
It's easy to call home, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Since 2015, you've continued to gain knowledge of the real estate market. Why has real estate continued to be a preferred investment, really, in anyone's portfolio?
I think it's really one of the safest investments people can make over the long term.
Yeah.
As long as you can keep making those monthly payments, whether the market's up or down, in the long run, you're going to be better off. People always have to have housing, so you're going to be paying that expense anyways. Sure. If you're renting, that's 100% interest instead of whatever your interest rate might be right now. And I also think it's the easiest way for people to gain wealth. It's the most equitable. It's equitable against all kinds of people that can invest their money into real estate. So just for a small amount of money, you can build wealth.
You can't lose with real estate many times. I mean, over the long haul, it always pays off. It's not only an investment for folks, but as a first-time home buyer, is it still the American dream to own a home? And do you enjoy assisting them on that journey?
I think so. I mean, all the first-time home buyers I work with, it is their dream to own their first home, and sometimes they don't even know that they could do that. So it's a big accomplishment when they get there, I love working with first-time home buyers. I get to help, hold their hand through the whole part of the process and help them really imagine that dream.
So for first-time home buyers, it's an exciting time, but yet at the same time, it's overwhelming. It's frustrating. Like you said, you enjoy holding their hand through the process. Is kind of setting their mind at ease something that you do all the time?
Yes, I think I wear a lot of hats. One of those is kind of being a therapist for people, or holding a lot of the emotions of the transaction and making sure that they know what they need to do in every step of the way, so they don't need to be overstressed or know every part of the process. We go through it step by step, and I make sure that they're educated on each step but not overwhelmed throughout the whole thing.
As you said, when you went out and bought your first home, you wish there were more questions. As a professional, how important is communication with your client as they navigate that journey? And you enjoy getting to know them and finding out what they're looking for?
Yes, that's one of my favorite parts of the job, is getting to know people in so many different ways. I get to be with them during some of their most stressful times, so you really get to know somebody. I have lots of past clients that are my best friends now. I love to have fun events for my clients every a couple times a year, but that's a huge aspect of it, is communication, making sure that they feel comfortable with me so that they feel comfortable to tell me the honest truth, about a property or about the process or about what their fears are throughout the process, so we can have an open conversation and make sure at the end of the day they get what they want, they're happy, they feel comfortable and confident with that decision.
You definitely value that trust that they put in you, and it's huge for you. Relocating to our state is exciting, but it can be stressful. Do you understand the challenges of those who have to relocate? And can you help them understand different areas? I mean, not only Denver, but all along the Front Range, down to Pueblo, and even further south.
Yep, that's a really good question. I love working with people that relocate as well. I do what's called a market education day, where they come into, hopefully they are coming into town. I'm able to take them around for a full day or a full weekend and show them different neighborhoods, show them different homes in those neighborhoods, to say, here's where your money can stretch in this area. Spend time having lunch so they know kind of the feel of the areas. Yeah. And then also, I've lived in different parts of the state, so I can also speak to that. So
that is excellent.
Yeah.
When selling, it can be tempting for a person out there to hang an FSBO sign and maybe think they're saving a little bit of money. Why is that not a wise decision? And more important than ever, to have a professional like yourself, especially someone who has marketing strategies in place, why is that important?
I think because every home sale is different. Every seller's motivations are different. Their scenarios are. And we also have over 70 neighborhoods in Denver. So our market is very hyper-local. Okay. I spend a lot of time putting together data for specific locations and what's really happening in that market. So I can base, all of my marketing and my pricing correctly from the beginning. So that, sometimes people start too high and they end up lower than where they should have been from the beginning. So I just think having that professional there for, those statistical purposes, as well as having, a lot of experience through different times in the market.
Got to be careful when you try to save a penny and you lose a dollar. Mm-hmm. I mean, marketing is vital. To get more eyeballs on it, you're able to basically get the highest price for it and go from there.
Yeah.
You become a trusted coach and advisor for those new to the market, but you also have assisted investors. Is this still a good time to invest in real estate, especially here in Denver?
I think so. I mean, I think they always say any time's a good time to buy in real estate, but of course it depends on how long you're going to hold the property, if you're planning to flip the property. So it just depends on what their ultimate goals are. But I think, like I said earlier, everybody needs a place to live. Yeah. So it's a solid investment, whether you're renting it long term or, doing an Airbnb kind of house hacking thing.
A lot of that going on
yes.
today. I mean, you're proud of the curator process that you created to support your clients really every step of the way. Is the Bold Moves team kind of your way of giving back and kind of teaching things to other agents out there?
Yes, I owe a lot of my success to my mentors early on in my career that really helped me and guided me through real estate. You take real estate classes and you don't really have any experience when you come in. It's a tough job to get started in. So I was able to start mentoring agents a few years back, and now I feel very fortunate that I do have a small team with me. I've got 2 other agents that we can collaborate together. I can teach them what I've learned, and hopefully they don't have to work as hard as I did in the beginning years, and that we have that support and structure in place to support each other.
Nice to have a team to tap into everybody's benefits and what they can bring to the table. You promise clear communication, loyalty, trust, and even a few laughs along the way. Is it still rewarding for you to be able to say, welcome home?
Yes, always is. I think real estate, it's sometimes not a fun or pleasant time when people are selling or moving. It's not always a good time in their life. And I think I've really enjoyed that part where I get to be a part of the next phase of somebody's life or their next transition, whether, it's a good or bad transition. Sure. And I think bringing some lightness to it, or just some excitement about what's to come is something that I've really enjoyed doing too.
That sounds great. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen. What you're going to see is her website. On the website, you can learn more about the service she's able to provide. You can learn more about this professional and see, obviously, listings that she has out there across the city. Check out the Facebook page where you're going to see tours of recent listings that she has out there as well. If you're curious about the market in your specific neighborhood, reach out for a market analysis that she can provide for you. Once again, that is Jolyn Crownover of the Bold Moves team, serving you and her community by exceeding expectations and saying, welcome home. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.